So it's kind of funny because parents always think that the summer before their child leaves for college will be the most challenging. You know, all the emotions wrapped up with them leaving will make that a difficult summer. But the summer that's most difficult for parents is really the summer for that rising senior. The summer once they've graduated is a lot of fun. It's a lot of let's take a trip together, let's plan your dorm room. It's a lot of activities, a lot of making memories on purpose, being very purposeful. But for a rising senior, it is fraught with stress. It is, we're on vacation, and what are we saying to our kid? We're saying, hey, you should start your essay. Come on, I know we've been at the beach all day, but you're not doing anything right now. Why don't you at least try to think of some ideas? It's a lot of, what are the deadlines? How has it changed? I mean, let's face it, if you're a parent that went to college back in the 80s, 90s, early 2000s, it is a completely different world than what it was. In addition to that, you also have, it seems like a lot less information. Perhaps your school has never discussed the Common App, what needs to happen, or maybe even worse, they've never discussed the business of college. And I find that that's where people really lack information, is that college is a business and it's not all about selecting the best and brightest students. It's a lot of other things that go into the mix. And having worked in college admissions for 9 years, it's challenging because sometimes you see a great student and you're like, oh, this kid would be great on our campus. They've got links to our campus. They've visited. They definitely know what they want. But we've already taken 12 students from their high school, and that's the limit. And now they came in kind of later in the game. Their application arrived later than those 12 students who were also a great fit. So it's a no for them, even though they'd be a great fit for our school. And how do you justify that? Well, it's a numbers game for a business. We've done a lot of videos about the business of college. And there are some in our private Facebook group, College Made Easy by Kelly McLean. If you go in there, you can find a lot of videos on a lot of different topics, including the business of college. It's a free Facebook group, puts you in there with a lot of other parents going through the same situation. But as a parent, early to the game is the best move you can make. It is the best move you can make. Late to the game, and a lot of people think like, oh, well, the early action deadline is November 1st. So as long as we're before that, we're early. That is not the case at a lot of schools. A lot of schools are looking at applications, time stamping them based on when they come in. And let's face it, October 30th, October 31st, November 1st before 11:59 p.m., a school could literally get 30,000 applications in those 3 days. You're not early. You need to be early in the process. We really recommend students are applying mid-September. We want our students to have that advantage. We want our students to be the person that, they haven't filled all the slots already. They don't have enough of this category of student in this department. Because as the UPenn Dean of Admissions was quoted last year, every time they take a student, UPenn's admission department and every other admission department considers, what do we need next? Not who's the best candidate. What do we need next? How do you become what they need? How can you show that in 650 words in an essay, in 10 lines of activities? So there are a lot of other ways that you can demonstrate that, and being early to the party is definitely one of them. So if you are the parent of a rising senior, I highly suggest that we have a conversation so we can map this out for you, help you, and if it's a good fit for us to work together, great. If it's not, you're going to leave that conversation with so much more information and be able to help your child in better ways. But without knowing the information, if you wait for, it's so funny, every year I have students who have already submitted applications and they'll text me or they'll be coming in maybe to submit additional applications. It's September and they're like, we had to sit through the guidance counselor trying to show us today in English class how to work through the Common App. Like, I applied 2 weeks ago to most of my schools. Like, it was just such a waste of time. You don't want to wait until they're being shown how to do this in high school because it's usually a month into school. And while, yeah, it's not at a deadline, again, early applications get the best decisions. So, I always like to do analogies. If you're getting ready for prom and you're kind of like, I'm not dating anybody, but maybe I want to ask so-and-so. Well, if you don't ask so-and-so first, they're already going to go with someone else. Someone else is going to beat you to it. College applications are the same thing. At the beginning of the admission cycle, admissions officers have this mindset of, we've got to fill this class. This is our job. We've got to put kids in place that are actually going to show up, that are going to pay tuition, because we've got to make sure the school has enough funding. So we've got to pick the kids who we think are most likely to attend, who are a good fit for the school, who will pay not only first semester, but who will survive and pay second semester because it's the right place for them. And that's what we're looking for. But as we start to fill the class, the decisions change. And it's all about what they need. And you don't want to come in at the point where they need. If you look at our Google reviews, there's a review, the last name is Polisub, and he talks about the fact his child had like a 4.9 GPA, numerous AP courses, I think a 1520 SAT, and he applied to his state school, the University of Washington, as well as several other schools. And he was denied at every single school to which he applied. With a 4.9 GPA and a 1520 SAT, he applied late in the game, very late in the game. He also needed some help with his essay. His stats were great, but by the time they reviewed his application, they'd already filled those spots where they needed someone like him. So he took a gap year, did some things. Then he became our client. He had not been our client originally. He became our client, and he was accepted to, I think, every school to which he had previously been denied, with the exception of MIT. And he was accepted to a dozen other schools. And so, it really was a game changer for him to better understand the process, to rework his application, to appeal to admissions, and to get into the cycle early. So while everybody thinks like, oh my gosh, it's going to be so hard when my kid's leaving for college, that summer is going to be fun. You're going to make memories. You're going to have a good time. This summer, while your kid's a rising senior, it's a challenge because you've got to balance I just want to have summer, just let me have summer, with the actions you take right now are going to decide what happens. So take the right actions. So if you want more information on this, if you drop the word biz down below in the comments, I'll send you the whole thing about how college is a business. Because if you better understand that, I think it helps you to better select the right schools for your kid, with your kid, and also to help motivate them to get through the process early and not drag it out. And like I said, if you want to schedule a call so that we can talk about it, kind of map out the whole process for you, happy to help you do that, because I think too often students don't realize what they need to do until it's kind of late in the game. And we like students to be early. I want everybody to have an opportunity to get into their dream school and live the life they want to live. So hopefully this video is helpful, and don't stress, it's all going to get done. You're not late at this moment. But I can tell you, I have students who have already finished their personal essay. I have other students Most of our students already have a perfect resume, and I have other students working on their personal essay. But most importantly, they know what the process is. They know what the steps are. They know when they have vacations, so they need to work around it. They're really able to map it out based on what they have going on. If your kid's a football player, August 1st hits, it is like game over because there is no time. So you want to start planning that process sooner. So either click the link to schedule a call, happy to discuss, or drop the word biz in the comments and I'll send you that information on the business of college. Talk to you soon. Have a great day.